As you all know, because this is backwards week, Matt, as head of household, has the sole vote to evict this week. Grace and Izzy, in just moments, Matt will cast his vote to evict.
Ultimately, my decision did come down to evicting Grace. Grace, I am so sorry.
It's official. Grace, I'm so sorry you have been evicted. Please say your goodbyes.
Hi, everyone.
Well, hello, evicted house guests of the Underworld. Welcome to the final night here. And as you know, I'm sure, in the Underworld, some crazy things happen. Now, as it stands, you, Grace, and you, Aaron, are both eligible to possibly return to the Big Brother game. Now, Sarah, Emily, and Ashley, you all lost your duels, unfortunately, which means that you will not be returning to the Big Brother game, but you have the power to influence the game in a very big way, because the three of you will ultimately decide who is permanently evicted and who will return to the Big Brother game this week. I highly suggest you take your emotions out of this decision and think very logically, because if the person that returns from the Underworld makes it to the final two, every single person here will get a slice of the money that he or she wins. So, this is a big decision for all of you. The goal is to reach a unanimous decision between Emily, Sarah, and Ashley. And you will not be allowed to leave this call until we reach that decision. Okay. All right, you three, you have a big decision to make, so I'm going to go on mute and just let you guys talk.
So first of all, who's leaning what way?
Oh, so Aaron has been my best friend since I was in 6th grade. So definitely Aaron. And if you guys want to get any sleep tonight, I'm not leaving until you guys. So. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys really want Gracie to come back, but definitely leaning towards Aaron. And also, he literally beat every single one of us, in the competition. So obviously we know he's a strong competitor. He didn't get to show that off in the house, but I think he should get the chance, especially since he was eliminated so early on.
So I'm supposed to be Gracie's roommate next semester, and then Aaron and I were really good friends once the game started, so I have an attachment to both, so I feel I'm kind of unbiased. So when I was looking at the situation, I saw it and I was Aaron fought his way to earn his way back in. He's won multiple competitions, he's done the work to get back in, but it's hard to also consider because Gracie only got out because of one vote and one person saw her as a threat. Whereas I feel if Aaron got back in, he'd be seen as more of a threat because he had to work his way back in rather than Gracie, who just got out, which is somewhat interesting to me. Also, the fact that Gracie already has established alliances is kind of appealing because yes, Aaron can make alliances. Aaron has friends in there and he's worked his way, he's obviously committed and wants to get back in and has that drive and could win competitions. But Gracie has that establishment already in there in the alliances, and as long as she stays low for a while, I think that she could make it further.
My thing is it was a really weird week that Grace got voted out, but if you look at not just who comes in second, because I feel Eileen and Sammy keep alternating who's doing really well in the game, but if you look at who's just kind of right there the whole time, definitely not losing but not winning right at the top, it's usually Grace. The only con that I see to her going back in the game is I think the reason that she was put up for vote this week was because they see her as a threat, but that also serves to our benefit because if she is an actual threat, because I do believe she is, then maybe she could make it to the final two.
Also, they saw Gracie as a threat, so that's why they the one person voted her out. Aaron wasn't a threat. He was voted out because of scheduling issues and all of that stuff, and he wasn't very active in the game. And like, I guess at the time he didn't know as many people, but he's been getting to know people.
Do you know if he knows the people well enough that they're going to be like, oh, I'm definitely going to want an alliance with him? Or are they going to be like, oh, I know him, I know he's good and he has like skills, so like I want to get him out while I know he's still fresh?
Well, I think he's definitely going to make alliances with those people that he knows already, like Molly, Eileen, Nicole. I really think that Aaron like needed the wake-up call of getting evicted, and he now knows like what he is fighting for.
See, I worry about that a little bit because he did so well. Like, he like blew the competition away in the Underworld. Like, he's a really good game player, but like, let's think about it. Like, if they both come back, if Aaron comes back, they haven't known him as long, at least game-wise. They gonna see him as someone that was evicted really early, that all they remember about him was that he did well in games and that was a threat. But Grace was just recently evicted, and if she comes back, I feel like they're gonna have a different reaction.
I think if they see Grace back and she was evicted because she was a threat, they're just gonna put her back on the block and be like, well, let's just get her out again, you know, like we did it once kind of thing.
But I feel like you run that risk putting either of them back in the game, because if you had that, and if you really look at it, Grace, the better kind of like attributes Grace has is that she already has those two alliances that will secure her the votes, that if she is up there, she'll get pulled. She'll be okay. Whereas Aaron, he's gonna be put in fresh, and he doesn't necessarily have those secured alliances yet. So he's gonna struggle somewhat if he's on the block.
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna struggle that much. He's also so ready to like make huge moves. Like, I don't really think anyone has made huge, crazy moves, like really shook up the game. Grace is so nice. I don't know if she would really stir the pot like that.
No, I agree with that, but like I also feel like I don't know if we necessarily like, whenever one of them get back in, whoever gets back in, I don't think that they necessarily should stir the pot yet. Like, they just got back in. They need to focus on laying low and building those connections rather than like, oh, I'm gonna go on the attack, sort of.
That's the kind of people that win the game, though. Like, if you've ever watched it, like the people that make the big moves, they're the ones that get really, really far.
All right, house guests, we are all here. So, before we begin this veto competition, I want to congratulate you all on making it to the final 10 in Big Brother. That is a big accomplishment. All right. So, but you may be wondering why I have called you all here today. And that is something that none of you know about. Big Brother has decided to shock you with this one.
Oh no.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, amazing.
No, wait. Shit.
Oh, Grace!
And Lewis is entering.
And Lewis is entering the chat.
And Lewis is head of household.
I didn't see Grace pop back in, so I was like, what are you guys reacting to? Oh my god,
House guests,
yay!
settle down. I have something to share with you all because there was another twist in the game that none of you knew about that has been going on since week 1 in the game. And it was called the Underworld. For the first 5 weeks of the game, the evicted house guests were sent to the Underworld. And they were all told upon eviction that they may have a chance to return to the game. So,
Period.
Okay.
Grace is back from the Underworld,
Wow.
and the Underworld has some crazy things that happen there. And as a result, Grace has both a blessing and a curse placed upon her.
Oh my god.
The Underworld has forbidden Grace from participating in this week's veto competition. However, not only is she ineligible to be a replacement nominee this week, but she has the option, if she chooses, to make her vote this week and this week only count triple. However, if she chooses to use this power, Grace will not be allowed to vote anonymously. She will have to cast her vote publicly at the start of the game. To be clear, Grace has the option of whether or not she wants to use this power. At the end of this week, all of Grace's powers will be erased and she will be a regular house guest like the rest of them.
Bro.
Okay. This game has so many layers. I'm so stressed. This is so stressful.
And I thought the plank was hard.
Is that Prince the photo of
like how much
the
time
world on fire?
To this game, and now there's like this whole other.
There's a whole other world, a whole other side.
I had like a feeling. I was like, what? Where are there?
That's so funny.
Grace came out of the lava for this one. She was like, "I'm back."
Believe you guys a long time to figure it out. Me and Aaron were probably there, sitting there for like 30 minutes for them to decide.
Wow.
It was rough.
I will admit, it was a very long Zoom call.
It was
a very long Zoom call.
Oh my god. Does the Underworld still exist, or is this the end of the Underworld, or like?
Because Grace has returned to the game, the Underworld has now disbanded.
Wow.
So, all right. It is time for the veto competition.